Good day, my name is Richard and a warm welcome to Tutoring with Richard, where we cover the South African school syllabus and native topics. Today we're going to cover Maths in 6, and the topic of this tutorial is the product and quotient rule. I am doing more examples today. Let's get straight into it. Okay, first we need to write out our product and quotient rule. Our product rule is U V prime plus U prime V. And our quotient rule is V U prime minus U V prime all over V squared. Let's get back into our first sum. X over cos x. Now, what we need to understand with this one is it is a quotient rule, because it is U and V. Now, with a quotient rule, U will always be your numerator and your V will always be your denominator. It doesn't matter what sum it is, if it's a quotient rule, that will be the rules. Okay. So we have V U prime, which is V, which is cos x multiplied by x to the 1 minus 1 minus U, which is x multiplied by minus sine x all over cos x squared. Alright, now what we need to say is, what is the derivative of x? The derivative of x is 1 times x is 1x, and then the exponent is 1 minus 1, which is 0. So x to the power 0 is just 1. So the derivative of x is 1. So it's cos x times 1 minus x times minus sine x all over cos x squared. Next step is cos x plus x sine x all over cos squared x. And that is our sum. All I did was take the minus times the minus and made it a plus, and then I've just combined these two over here. It's still exactly the same sum. It's just written shorter. And now we have right. Now, this is U and that's V. Right. And this is separate altogether. This is a separate sum. This is a separate piece of the sum altogether. So, what we have to do is take the two parts that are multiplied together and put them in the formula. So, how that'll look is U, which is x, multiplied by, now the derivative of ln is 1 over x, plus U prime, which is 1, multiplied by ln x. Now, that's the whole formula, minus the derivative of x is 1. Now what we need to do is go x times 1 over x is x over x, plus 1 times ln x is ln x, minus 1. So x over x is 1, plus ln x minus 1. Now, plus 1 and minus 1 cancel each other out. So all we are left with is ln x. Now we have this sum. This is a quotient rule because it's all a division. So, u is the numerator and v is the denominator. Right, so I have tan x to the power, multiplied by 1, minus u, which is x, multiplied by sec squared x, all over tan squared x. Now tan times 1 is just tan. Tan x minus x sec squared x all over tan squared x. Now, what you could do is this is your final answer. This is your final answer. Now, you could take it a step further and say that tan squared over tan minus tan x sec squared over tan squared. You could say that, but it's not feasible. It's simply not feasible to do. This is the simplest way how to get your full marks. So you will get your full marks by doing this. So 1 mark there, 1 mark there, and you get your 2 marks. Okay. With this, with all these identities that I've used with this, you will get a formula sheet in the exam with these on it. So they will give you your derivatives. They'll give you the derivative of tan. They'll give you the derivative of sec, cos, and everything else. They will give you derivatives on everything. And they will also give you your integrals. It's a formula sheet that's given because it's not expected that you will know everything. This is a product rule. So this term will be u, and that term will be v. Right, so this is a product rule. So we got, let's get into it. So u is x multiplied by, now we have to use the chain rule. The chain rule is what I term the outer inner rule. So you solve the outer first, and then you solve the inner, and you multiply it by the inner. I'll show you how to do that now. So that's x squared minus 2 to the power of a half. Now, plus the derivative of x is 1 times v times x squared minus 2 to the power of a half. Let's take this derivative here. We're going to take this derivative of x squared minus 2 to the power of a half. We're going to take that derivative. So x multiplied by a half x squared minus 2 to a half minus 1 multiplied by, now this will be 2x, 2 minus 1. Plus x squared minus 2 to the power of a half. Alright, now we have x multiplied by a half x squared minus 2 to the power minus a half multiplied by 2x plus x squared minus 2 to the power of a half. Now we need to multiply 2x with x and the half. So what we will receive is 2x times x is 2x squared multiplied by a half is 2x squared over 2. So we will have 2x squared over 2 multiplied by x squared minus 2 to the minus a half plus x squared minus 2 to the power of a half. Now if we look at this, we will see that 2 cancels with 2 and we're left with x squared times x squared minus 2 to the power minus a half plus x squared minus 2 to the power of a positive half. Now, because we have a negative exponent, we have to bring that down because we never want a negative exponent ever. So, we have x squared to the root x squared minus 2 plus the root of x squared minus 2. And that is our final answer. The reason I've put the roots back is because you have to have the sum exactly as you started it. So if you've got a root in your sum and the root stays, you always have to put the root back. But as you're working out, as you can see, it made it a lot easier to make it to the power of a half. Okay. Right. So, this is V and that's U. Okay. Now what we have to decide, or what does the question ask? The question will ask something akin to, are we going to derive with regard to x or with regard to m? Are we going to derive with regard to x or with regard to m? In this case, we do it with regard to m. So, first off, we have x plus 2m multiplied by minus 1. Right, because doing this with regard to m. So 2x becomes a constant, and a constant becomes 0. So if we regard m as the same as we do x, then that derivative of m becomes minus 1. So that's minus 1. So next point is minus 2x minus m times 2. Because 2m, m 1 minus 1 becomes 0. So m to the 1, m to the 0 is equal to 1. 1 times 2 is 2. That's how we got that. All over x plus 2m squared. Right. Now what we do is we multiply everything in. So we multiply the minus 1 in, so we get minus x minus 2m minus 2 times 2 is 4x times 2 is minus 2m. Oh wait, my mistake. What needs to happen is the minus needs to multiply in. So when a minus times a minus, that becomes a positive. So the sum will go. The sum will be minus 2m x plus 2m squared. So minus 2m plus 2m cancel. Minus x minus 4x is minus 5x. So we have minus 5x all over x plus 2m squared. And that is our final answer. Alright, that's going to be U and that's going to be V. Now, we're going to take 1 minus x to the power 9 multiplied by the derivative of x is 1 plus the derivative of u. So that is 9 times 1 minus x, 9 minus 1, multiplied by the derivative of minus x is minus 1. Multiplied by x. Okay, so the next part of the sum is 1 times 1 minus x to the power 9 is 1 minus x to the power 9 plus, now this will become, actually this becomes a minus 9 1 minus x to the power 8, because I multiplied by minus 1, multiplied by x. Okay, now the next part is that this becomes 9 is the x multiplies with a 9 and becomes 9x. So we've got 1 minus x to the power 9 minus 9x to the 1x, 1 minus x to the 8. And that is our final answer. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm and helps the channel to grow. Positive feedback is most welcome. I enjoy reading your comments. Please use the comments section to let me know what topics you would like me to cover in upcoming videos. Be at peace, be kind to each other, and remember, passing well is achievable. Have a great day. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.